Last week, we launched a new series entitled the We Are One series in an effort to start a movement. It's a movement that celebrates our oneness, a movement that acknowledges our uniqueness, a movement that will create a stirring in the hearts and minds of not only of those of us who gather here on these sacred grounds, but in the hearts and minds of people everywhere. The We Are One movement that is happening right here and right now. And I hope that there's at least 2 other individuals in here that are willing to be part of this We Are One movement. Anyone here? Yes. We started last week by focusing on our oneness with God, and this is important. The We Are One movement is important because in unity we understand and we teach the law of mental attraction. The law of mental attraction, which is one of the universal laws, tells us that whatever thought or idea we uphold in mind and heart, the predominant thought becomes part of our individual and collective experience. The law of mental attraction, according to unity, tells us that if we hold the thought of oneness, of unity in mind and in heart, we can expect this thought to become flesh and dwell amongst us. The We Are One movement. Today we will focus on we are one with each other. There's only one human family, and it's right here at Unity Church of Hawaii. And not only here, everywhere. In his book, Broken Gods, Hope, Healing, and the 7 Longings of the Human Heart, psychologist Dr. Gregory Popshak identifies 7 longings, 7 deep desires of the heart. I want you to consider, as I call off this list, if there is a longing that you can identify with. He says the first longing is to be set free from struggle. Has anyone had that longing recently? Thank you for your honesty. The longing for abundance. Thank you for your honesty. Same people. The longing for justice. The longing for peace. The longing for trust, the longing for well-being. Did I say the longing for peace? Yes. And the longing for communion. Yes. And as he identifies communion, it's more than just the Eucharist, but communion being connected. That there is a deep, soulful desire, a longing, and this thirst to be connected with Source, to be connected with God, and to be connected with each other. There is a longing for intimacy. There is a longing for love. There is a longing to know and to be known by another. Popshak identifies that there is a longing to become one with God. Listen closely. To become one with God and each other. Last week we identified those 5 obstacles, and the word in Sanskrit, the Sanskrit word for obstacle is poison, that Deepak Chopra identified in his book, The Future of God. That the poisons that prevents us from being in alignment and prevents us from being at one in oneness with God. As we understand this, that it's stated that the primary cause of illness is the belief in separation. Just as the primary cause or cure or cause for wellness is the belief in oneness. That in the space and place of separation, friends, we get to create. All of those things that correspond with that consciousness and thought of separation. Oneness, will you say oneness with me? Is not an idea. Oneness is a force. And this is why the master teacher, Jesus, taught. It says, where 2 or more touch and agree, become one, unified together on a matter, there's enough power and enough force to make something happen in our experience. The Sufi mystic Llewellyn Van Lee says, oneness is the life force of the planet trying to break through the structures that are killing it. Oh yeah. Oneness is powerful. The difficult for many people is to comprehend and to embrace the idea of oneness. Edgar Cayce, that name might be familiar to many of you. the American mystic, his underlying philosophy, he says oneness suggests that we have the opportunity to view our rich diversity as an example of the multiple ways, listen closely, of the multiple ways in which the one Spirit, the one God, the one life force is trying to find expression in our lives. That's heavy. That's powerful. That is profound. That we are here longing for connection, all of us. That's why we go on the internet. Oh yeah. How many of you give at least an hour a day on the internet? Be honest, be truthful. Tell the truth and stay in church. Some of you sitting on the internet probably in service, tweeting service. That's okay. The longing for connection at the deepest level, there's that part of us that longs to be in connection not only with Source, but with each other. We need God in the flesh, do we not? Yes. You need God with bones and ligaments and muscles and hair or no hair. God expressing. And it's stated that more than on a physical level, we are so one, but it's only in the mind of man that there exists or abides separation. You see, that is an illusion. Separation is only an illusion. It is not the truth of us. We came from the same source. I don't care what your color, your age, your creed, your background, your ethnicity. We came from the same source, and to that one source shall we all return. Oh yeah. One of the greatest demonstrations of oneness occurred over the past few days. It happened on Friday when individuals there in South Carolina decided to get together and be one community and take down the symbols of separation. Not that of hatred, but that of separation. Any symbol that suggests that we are more than one family, that we are divided family, that is a symbol of separation, and it is not of God. For in God, there's only one. Ernest Holmes says in his book, The Science of Mind, that there's only one mind, and it is the mind of God. Can you say that with me? There's only one mind, and it is the mind of God. My mind, come on, is the mind of God. Friends, this is what Paul says. We must put on the mind of Christ. That is the mind of God. Let this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus, that we think it's not robbery to be one with God. See, when we clothe ourselves with oneness, we walk in oneness. It's never an other. There's no other. There's only one. It's only God. As you hear these words from the book of Revelations, chapter 22, it says, the leaves on the tree are for the healing of the nation. When you gaze at any tree on these sacred, beautiful grounds here in paradise, you don't notice all of the individual leaves. But what we do notice is the beauty and the essence of the tree. We are the leaves on the tree. We are here to express our uniqueness, our individuality. That's in expressing our individuality. We are one with Source. We are one with God. We are one with each other. We are one with all of life. That is the truth of us. I have news for you. Contrary to what you've been taught, oneness is the only thing that's original. I'll say it again. Some of you just caught that. The only thing that's original, some of you might have heard original sin. There is no original sin. There's only original oneness. Righteousness is original. In right relationship with Source. And when we come back to our original state, as if you heard the story of the prodigal son who strayed away from the father's house, strayed away from Source, as we all do. We stray away from our true self, being at home, at one with God. Abiding, as the master teacher says, I and the Father, and the Father and me, we are one. And friends, in the space and place of oneness, things can happen, things change. Dynamics will shift, as we just experienced over the past week. I would dare say we need to raise this level up a little higher to get rid of some other images of separation. Do you not agree? We need to clean the house and the consciousness of this nation and of our world, that we may come into true awareness of oneness. When God stood at the beginning of creation, those of you who follow the creation, who are creationists, when it says, let there be, let us make man in our image. We were in the us. We were there. And it's there that we abide. Only in our mind are we separate. Only in the mind are we apart from any extraordinary, wonderful expression of the divine. And if you see separation, just know that it's your illusion. It's your creation, and you can change it. 3 things that a true human family practice. 1, prayer. We're one in prayer. You've heard these words, a family that prays together, stays together. Praying is more than just giving thanks or pausing before we eat or go to sleep. It's the thoughts and our words that we are one. We're praying in our actions and our deeds. And then we are one in our vision and in our purpose. We are aligned. We are in alignment with truth. You hear these words that there are many who have a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. If there's any realm of separation, it's denying the power of truth, the power of oneness. That when we come back home, center, we're unified in our vision and purpose. We're moving in the same direction. And then we are one in faith. And friends, this is where power is expressed. We are one. And in this consciousness, we can walk with another. That's why we come here on Sundays and during the week, to be in oneness with each other. Have you ever entered the sacred space? I can't say walls because we don't have many walls here. And I'm thankful that there's a community without walls. How about that? That means that God's out of the box, and so are we. Have you ever entered this sacred space and you just needed a word of encouragement? You needed someone to just touch and agree with you. You needed to know that you were not alone. Have you ever walked in this space and you felt better when you left from being together? Anybody? Sitting right next to you, you never know what the experience is of that person. Why don't you just take their hand? Take their hand. You never know what that person is experiencing. And sometimes all we need to know is that we're not alone. We just need to connect. When we connect, Dr. Rocco Errico says, before we learn to become great spiritual beings, we got to first become great human beings. Humans being great at being human. Then we can become masters of spirit. That touch right there, if you hold that touch, hold it at a deeper level. See, we're not only one in our physicality, we are one in energy. We are one in vibration. We are one in psychic. We are one at such a profound level that there's nothing that can shake that. I don't care how hard we try. Oneness is where we will return. We were one in the beginning. We are one now. And we will always be one. Hear the words now from this level of consciousness. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me. I am you, you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we will live in harmony, and peace will come, 'cause we are. Now, at a very cellular level, I want you to feel your connection with the hand that you're holding. And through that hand, I want you to feel your connection with all men, all women, all boys and girls, regardless of their color, their creed, their religion, their faith, their preference, their socioeconomic status. Feel your oneness and allow the vibrations of our oneness to be felt all over the land today together. We are one. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me. I am you, you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we will live in harmony, and peace will come. This is the truth of our being. God bless you. Peace and blessings.